The first Mimighoul deck that I have seen actually perform atop. We have more of your little Whitewoods good stuff. And yes, we have more Magic Spectre toolbox. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Wow, wow, wow. You know, I am so happy to see an actual working Mimighoul list out here. I have play tested this deck a lot. I could not, my personal ratios weren't the greatest in the world, but this is really, really cool to see. I'm so happy to see this. So we are on the 2 Master with the triple dungeon. I think 2 Master does feel pretty all right. This card does kind of stink if it's like in the mid to late game. I also see that this build is playing Vernal Sylph cards in here. That's right. These little Vernal Sylph cards, being able to just net you, free discards, free setup, the free pressure, like, they are, the only time that these feel bad is if you get ashed, but even at that point, you're just like, well, you had it. You're better than me. There's not really much I can do about that. And that's the understandable thing. Also, this build actually was maximizing on the Cerberus. I don't like this card. I think this card's kind of butt in a lot of games. But, they were actually finding a slot for it, so I think it's interesting. Also, we're all Earth, so, we actually get to play the Dominus Purges in here, so we can actually do our thing. Also, only one room. A room is by far one of the stupidest cards that you could have. I feel like I want to play more of this card just so I can actually open it. And, of course, the triple Sol and Luna here as well. Let's call it what it is. All right. The rotations on this card definitely are going to be really, really strong. All right, and it's a quick play, so that's all I really care about. Do the old double flipperoo, especially with this. Also, no guard dog in here, but that's fine. Guard dog can be an inconvenience some days, even though I like the card a lot. All right, so this is what we're going to call the flip side of the equation out here for the Whitewood stuff. Now remember, last video, you did see we had Whitewood Runic for you, which I think has been projected to be the better version of this. But then, you've got people out here that are like, oh, you got to play Centurion cards. I do like the Centurion package in this. Don't get me wrong. All right, like this deck, level 12 is the easiest thing in the world. All right, because you have so many ways to modify for that. Like, it's not even an issue. But what I will say here is no Gargoyle, no Emeth. Having that one extra piece does kind of matter to this. So the fact that they've chosen not to do that, we're just on 2 Primera, 2 Trudea with your triple copies of Stand Up, and then we're playing the 1 Wake Up with the 1 Phalanx. Okay. You do see that we are playing the Toy Box package. This package takes up a 5-card slot, man, because it's just triple Toy Box with 1 Soldier, 1 Tank. Like, this is fine. All right, this stuff. Also the fact that for the people that have not realized this, the toy box getting to put from the deck or hand is free. Like, that's all we care about. All right, just load them on up on the toy box and call it a day. What else can we do with this? I mean, it's just high-level synchro good stuff, right? Like, also, another deck that also has actual... You got to be kidding me, right? Like, imagine you're setting up, you're like, all right, we're going to go ahead and pass on, some of the good stuff. Not you. And you're just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and Secret Village lock you. Now your opponent's going to sit here and they're going to go, huh. I not only have to deal with the Secret Village lock, this was not on my bingo sheet of, issues to deal with in the current meta. But hey, you know what? Good stuff. Next up here. We're actually playing Disc Blaster. I gave this card a lot of crap, but somebody found a place for this. Now, for those of you that forgot or have no idea what this card does, it is the cheapest QCR in existence, I feel like, but its Pendulum effect is negate any card effects activated in this card's column. So left to right, full blink, everything negated in that column. There's nothing you're going to have to deal with, all right? That's pretty crucially important for a pendulum effect. But if there is a column with no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone in that column. You only special summon one of these once per turn this way, and negate any cards and effects activated in this card's column. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place it into your pendulum zone, so it will retract itself on into a zone for you to do your thing. It's also a 5 scale, which might not look pretty important, but there are just some times that you look at this card and you're like, wow, you know, we're definitely covering our bases. Not only as like a negate on a whole column, a ability to basically screw over an opponent's spell and trap card zone. The fact that you could scale this up, if you're playing like against 5 backer and you can, you know, set these up and then basically turn off everything in those columns, that's pretty important. Also, we've actually gone to the point out here of we're playing left arm offering. That's actually kind of insane. Interesting. The little tech choices that you see from people. I also see, you know, maybe we're going to lose to something random, so we can go ahead and just prohibition any of those real troublesome cards. And, hello, Secret Village. I love the fact that Secret Village has now shown up in 2 of these decks. Alright, just don't even worry about the meta, alright? If your opponent's doing something stupid, just prohibition it, or just Secret Village it. You don't have to worry about that. Singularity actually showing up is kind of cool as well. Awesome. Alright. Ooh, we have Ritual Beast for you out here. Now, I will say I'm happy to see Ritual Beast coming back into the light out here. A lot of these builds for Ritual Beast just kind of were a hopscotch away. You know, we're kind of missing some of the little tech choices out here. This build is not... I'll say most lists right now have actually kind of dropped the Colossus. I did like having the Nemesis Corridor into the Colossus off of the, you know, the reset of the resource back, but most builds not even going that way anymore because Protos is just a better card. Protos giving you that ability to blink out anything. I mean, you've got access to fire right here. Like that's not a problem, all right? Or, you know, the Banshee too, I guess. It just depends. You have everything that you need to, you know, use this as an effective floodgate to provide the turn skip on your opponent. Like, you just kind of got to decide what's going to be the best method for you to do so. Outside of that, I find this a little bit weird. I'm really playing 1 Pot of Prosperity. I guess that they didn't value filtering options all that much. Sticking to the triple E-Telly, triple Dark Ruler no more in here for the board breaking. We are actually citing the triple Dimensional Fissure. We have gotten to the point right now that being able to drop a Dimensional Fissure on your opponent does feel pretty good. That Floodgate effect will win you some pretty stupid games. A lot of people can't outplay this. We're also dedicating only 1 Steeds. I do like the consideration for the multiples. I will say there's just some times that you look at Steeds and you're like, sometimes I want to actually be able to clean up, you know, things. Or, you know, maybe your opponent will play around 1. Depends on how good your opponent is. Alright, if you can set up 2 Steeds and still do the full board with everything you need to, more power to you. But outside of that, it might not actually be worth it. Alright, and our last little list here is Melodious. Alright, so in terms of your innovations with Melodious, as of late, you got a lot of things to think about with this deck. All right, obviously you've gotten a very large developed ratio of hand traps in here. You know, you now have the Herald of Orange Lights. You are playing the Ash Blossoms with the Dominuses. I've heard a lot of stupid opinions from people going, you know, hey, you know, like, in the case of this, playing the Dominus with the Ash is fine. Alright, your major takeaways from this are you're going to Ash first, and then you're going to go ahead and activate the Purge, and then you're like, okay, so now I've just doubled my interactions out here. There will be games where you won't see this, alright? This is just to facilitate, hey, I got the extra hand traps, I'm able to pressure you out of the game, and I can do the thing, alright? The rogue consistency options are going to be a thing. I also see that we are playing the 1 Lizardos. This card has definitely moved up in the world in terms of a nice little slot. You do see that we are playing the crossouts in here as well. No Droll in here, though. I find that a little bit interesting. I feel like Droll is the thing that kind of slows this stack down into an inconvenience, but, you know, for a local breaker deck, you know, you want to play this at your local tournament, you'll be able to clear some games relatively easily, in my opinion. Like, it's good enough to get the job done. Outside of that, interesting little stuff. So please take a moment, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. There is a lot of cool innovation to be had out here. I'm super excited to see what more duelists are going to bring to the table, but we will have to wait and see as this format develops. You guys have a good rest of your day. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.